Shawn Barron. Does this different.
So yes, my name is Shawn Barron. With a name like that, I basically have two options. I was going to have to some way pursue stand-up comedy, or else I was going to have to move to Dublin and become a pimp. Imagine that, a pimp on the streets of Dublin. How you be doing this evening, boy? Looks like it's some pussy you've been eating.
For a minute.
Women aren't laughing on that joke.
Thank you. Always good to have some commentary. Nice little Greek chorus we got going on here. That was good. So, a lot of my friends, I'm telling them that I want to move out west. I like to move out to Los Angeles, pursue comedy out there. And a lot of my friends are always like, Shawn, if you go out west, you're going to miss winter. You're going to miss the seasons. After this year, I want to miss the seasons. I want to miss the seasons the way you miss a crazy ex. There's just every now and then, you know, like in July, there's like some day where you'd be like, oh, it'd be great if there was some winter. And then you remember when winter finally arrives, it's just 6 months of bleak coldness. It's like with the crazy ex. You know, when you're alone by yourself, you're like, it was so great that 2 days in the 18 months we were going out and driving each other crazy. So, besides the situation with wanting winter, one of the things I encounter a lot, especially when I'm watching the news, is they always like to use the phrase, we have fact-based reporting. Yes, we have fact-based reporting, which doesn't really interest me. I'm kind of more interested in factual reporting. I mean, fact-based reporting basically means anything. The people of North Korea on a regular basis get fact-based reporting. Today, in North Korea, people woke up, fact, and they weren't shot, fact-based. One of the more interesting, fact-based at least, news stories that I encountered recently was in Hawaii about 2 weeks ago. It was brought before the Hawaiian Congress that Hawaiian police are allowed to have sex with prostitutes. This was recently just discovered to still be on the books. And when it was brought before Congress of Hawaii, they attempted to repeal this, the police officers union fought tooth and nail saying that we need this right. We need this for undercover operations. And I'm trying to figure out just what kind of an undercover operation would require a police officer to have sex with a prostitute. I'm trying to imagine, you know, we're at a gangster's office in Hawaii. Mr. Jimmy Ho, yes, he's the most powerful mob boss in Honolulu, gathers all his men together. Well, men, we've been having some problems. Right about the time you joined, Freddie, mysteriously, the police have raided every single club I've owned, cut our cocaine distribution, and somehow, conveniently, you never seem to be there when that happens. Now, I don't know if these are facts, they're only fact-based suspicions, but if you have sex with this prostitute over here, I'm sure we can completely clear you being an undercover officer. The other one you get besides that is inspired by true events. Whenever they have a biographical picture on, they always want to mention that they were inspired by true events. There's a Cesar Chavez movie coming out this weekend, and they say inspired by true events. So I'm always wondered, why not just saying it's a true story, but inspired by true events? Well, which true events inspired the screenwriter? Well, the screenwriter of this film, he read a very interesting book on Cesar Chavez. Oh, is that it? Well, he also read another interesting book discussing how much money and easy access to sex Hollywood screenwriters get. And these true events combined inspired him to write the screenplay. So sadly, I'm not employed as a screenplay writer. Most recent job I had was working in a restaurant in my hometown of Princeton. It was a higher-end restaurant. And the reason I think a lot of people like a lot of higher-end restaurants is in many ways, it's the last bastion of real, feudalism that exists in our society, the last place you can really treat someone like a serf. I mean, I'd just be there working as a host. In the middle of the day, gentlemen would just kind of walk in. Garçon, prepare me a table for 8. My friends have arrived. We are famished. Bring us a wench to bring a jug of wine so that we will recant ourselves with stories of our adventures on the road. You'd also get a lot of people in the back kind of kept this sort of feudalism mentality going, in that they were always plotting against each other. It was like a little Game of Thrones, because whoever was the host wanted to be head host, and whoever was head host wanted to be server, and whoever was a server wanted to be a manager. So your job's always on the line, something's always about to happen, but nobody wants to tell you directly because they can't admit they know anything, or else that reveal everything. So they come over to you. Shawn, come here, come here. The western winds are whispering that there are new people who desire your position and title. Be quiet. Keep your lips sealed. I said not. We never spoke. So, I think I never liked this job because some of the bosses that I had there. And my basic problem with bosses, I think, is that my first encounter with the term boss is probably the way a lot of people, you know, who are right now in their 20s or 30s, first encountered the term boss. You didn't get it from work. You got it from video games. Boss was a mysterious, weird creature that was a gross mutation of everything you've encountered so far, and it's blocking your progress. And just like it came to a video game boss, when it came to my real life boss, I would spend days and weeks trying to figure out the necessary strategy to kill my boss. Thank you. So when I'm fantasizing about killing my boss, one of the ways that I often like to relax is I watch a lot of movies. I'm really into documentary films as well. A cool documentary I saw a couple of weeks ago, it's an older documentary from the 1980s, and it's all about the dance, the twist. And for all of you who've never seen anything from the 50s, basically the dance like the twist was this. This was the twist. This is how boring things were in the 50s. This was all you needed to do to dance. What was really amazing, though, was this dance caught on, and you could actually get laid if you did the twist well enough. You just see people in a club. Hey, Becky, look over there. Yeah? You see how he's twisting? We should go talk to him. Mm-hmm. But what really got is twisting just freaked people out. This dance freaked people out. This was like the twerking of the 1950s. People just lost their minds over this. And they would get paranoid about it. Because they're just like, but if the young people start going like this, what if they start going like this? And they did. That was a dance called Monkey. And then they would just go crazy. They kept doing more dances. They did this, which I'm doing badly, which is called the mashed potato. They were just really basic things. They were just like, table, that's a new dance. We're going to have the table dance. Yeah, we just did it like this. Really excited. But what would freak people out is that they really didn't want to let the twist on television. And there was one time Elvis was going to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show. You might know Elvis. He was the first white man to make a successful career out of stealing black people's music. So Elvis went on the show, but they did two things. One, they would only shoot him from up here, and they had 4 bodyguards basically surround him for the entire set. Just he's just grooving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Elvis. You ain't thinking of twisting, Elvis. You better not be thinking of twisting. So that's what the 1950s was like in this country. But besides watching documentaries, I've been watching a little more television recently, and what always keeps freaking me out is the warnings on TV programs have just gotten crazier and crazier, particularly on commercials. The little fine print that they put in the ads. Now, what always gets me with the fine print is it seems to be a problem they're very much concerned with, but they only want to put it in the last 3 seconds of the ad so you can barely read it. There's actually a Pizza Hut ad going around now insisting that you not rob Pizza Hut drivers because they only have $20 change. I'm just trying to imagine who is this ad was aimed at. You see 2 guys in a part of town getting their guns ready. All right, Tony, I got a genius plan. We're going to rob the Pizza Hut tonight. It's going to go great. So we're going to go over to Pizza Hut. We're going to put our guns. Yeah, that should be great. They had a big weekend. They might have $5,000, maybe $10,000 in the Pizza Hut. No, we're not doing it the old-fashioned way. We're going to make Pizza Hut come to us. It was an odd delay, but okay, thank you. Probably the other one that my favorite thing that you see a lot of the warning signs are basically not to ingest things, which is always odd because they make everything brightly colored for children. Like they're just like, hey, let's make Tide incredibly brightly colored. All the poisonous things, let's make them as brightly colored as possible so kids will want to go for them. And then put stuff they can't read. But I think that the real reason these warning signs are on, because I remember we were all told for some reason in kindergarten not to drink these things. Like we had a lesson at some point where the teacher brought like, a little cartoon. These look colorful, but they'll kill you. Do, 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 do. And so it's not really into kids. The real thing that I think these warning signs are still on, stuff like Bleach and Tide, is for frat boys. because I can just imagine that there could just be, you know, some Saturday night here in New Brunswick, it's like, all right, everybody got their bleach? All right, you got one shot of bleach. Anybody who dies is out of the frat. Well, I want to thank you folks, and if you haven't found my comedy truthful, you should find it based on praise.
All right, here it again for Shawn, man. Here it up again. Yes, yes. All right, thank you everybody for coming out. We got spectators, we got performers. I'm going to bring up your next guest.